welcome to Young Entrepreneurs. Of course, a special segment that we always share out to you, where we meet several young people who are ambitious and they are changing the community. They're doing series of things that they intend to have, of course, benefit in the future. My name is Menyata, and this is the Campusa magazine production. And remember, it is proudly brought to you by Fine Finishing. Now, today, I'm so delighted to share something with my guest, who seems to be a very special person in this, because as you see the setting and everything, you must be so happy, or at least you should be optimistic. So joining me today in the show is a young gentleman, very, very young and gentleman, of course, who is doing something to transform the community. Is making bags, not only bags. Now you must be aware that at least 9.8 tons of plastic products are always disposed of into the water, into the soil, and everywhere in the country. So a lot of people have come up with ideas to ensure that this will reduce on how we use these plastic coverers. Earlier on, KCC and NEMA came up with several ideas and enforcement to ensure that people don't use coverers anymore, because the moment you throw it into the soil, the next time you may not be having maize. And the same thing we are doing this globally, because if we damage our soil or anything, at the end of the day we may not get productive yields. So joining me today is a young gentleman who is trying to do this. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me here. I'm happy to be part of this. And well,
he's a young man who is trying to change a lot in the community. He's called Godfrey. Yeah. Most of you may be knowing him as Ingo. Am I pronouncing it well?
Yeah, it's Ingo. There's nothing much on it. It's Ingo. It's basically home, means home in my native. So when I say Ingo, it means I'm home. So I'm home.
Oh, you're home. I feel at home, actually. So just to bring everyone up to date, what do you do?
What I do?
Yes.
That's a nice question. Okay, Ingo, basically what I do is we try to run up upcycling bag company or brand. Necessarily not a company, but a brand. So what we try to do is we try to give life to second-hand clothing that would end up that we try to give life to second-hand clothing that would possibly end up in the landfill. Especially when you go to a window, if you have been to a window, if you have been to shops to markets where they do a lot of second-hand clothing. We get a lot of second-hand clothing from abroad. So we try to give life to that, and that will end up turning into bags that you can see here. You can. So it's what basically we do. Basically, we turn old clothing into something that would end up using, that is in bags and any other stuff that we try to have our hands on.
So you're trying to add values on this.
Basically, that's what we do. Okay. Yes.
How long have you been doing this?
How long? It depends on how. But in terms of production, we started serious production, I think, last year around September. That's when I shifted to my current location.
Okay.
So that's around September, yeah. But we're doing simple kind of production. I started way back in 2018. I think 2018. Yeah, 2018, I think. 2018, around Feb. That's when I had the whole idea. That's when the whole idea now got into me of wanting to come up with a bag. And so I used to, I'm a big fan of bags, quite a big fan. So I used to buy bags, those African fabric bags, the change kind of bags. So the issue I was having with these bags is you would have them on after probably using them to close to two to 3 months, they would wear out, especially the straps. Yeah. So my thinking was, why can't I make something that can be durable and impactful to the environment at the same time. So that's where the whole idea came. So 2018 Feb, I gave the whole idea. I go into the researching. When I get something, when I get into work onto something like an idea, I tend to first do some bit of research. So you get to know what you're up against and what you're probably thinking you're going to do. So 2018, I did some research. You have to get the quality that you probably desire, because you have to make a product that everyone would appreciate out there in the market. So 2018 Feb, we got down, I research, I contact a few people, how different logos I get to make a different logo. I do my logos, myself, everything. So I contact a guy who was, I think then was in Makera. I think 2018 I was still at Makera, I think. Either I was done or I was. So we get to get a guy, he makes for me a logo. I contact a gentleman, I don't know, I think he works with you guys. He's called Michael. I talked to him about the whole idea, and there you go. So 2018, I go slowly. I didn't have any machines then. So the whole idea was I would source the fabric, work with the artisans, the tailors especially. So I would talk to them, show them what kind of quality I desired.
Your idea.
Yes, the kind of quality I desired for a bag, how I wanted it to look like. So 2018, around I think May. No, 2018 was more of a research kind of thing.
The intercept of everything.
Yeah, where you research, you know what you're going to use, which fabrics, which things you're going to use. So 2019 comes, so I get in contact. I think it was one of my OGs that's back in school. She gets me a contact with a guy. He's a tailor then.
I like the way you are networking so far. In the beginning, you're already doing this.
I know. You have to, like I said, before you do something, you have to find out who are better. Who are these guys who are good at what you're looking at doing. So I got in touch with she owns one of those nice brands. They also make clothing. She's into cloth making. I'm forgetting the brand it's called.
But now, the moment you began this, what was the intercept like? How were people perceiving this? Were they happy about your products?
No. Then I had nothing. Nothing.
You're just doing, not selling.
It's basically not
break
selling.
Even.
I hadn't even made a product.
Okay.
So there was nothing basically. It was more of research. Look at what people are doing in the market, which brands are making bags probably in Uganda, and how are they doing it better, and which materials are they using, which fabrics are they using, where are they sourcing their leather, where are they sourcing their whatever they're using, and where do they get, when you go into this, you have to know a few things. But then, because I didn't have any machines, so then I was going to work with tailors, so I had to find out what we were going to use. So I get one gentleman, he's called Herbert. I work with him. The lady connected me to the guy called Herbert. He told me this guy is good. So I get to work with him, I think, towards the end of 2018. Yeah, 2018, I think. No, I think early 2019, I think.
2019.
Yeah, that's when probably the production starts. If I'm right. Because I remember we did our first bags, the ones you can see there. Those are one of my first.
Those are the first.
Yeah, those are my first bags I did.
I like the way you keep them there to motivate you.
Yeah,
this is where it began from. This is how we are going.
Like whenever we're making a piece of a bag, we refer to that so that we improve on every day. We have to improve on the quality. So I think 2019 we did some few pieces. One of our first pieces, I think if you check out our page, you can see. Because like I said, 2018 was more of which logos, because I picked most of the inspiration from Kenya. Those guys, they, when you look at their works, they tend to be of high end. They're handmade down in Kenya or Nairobi or where they are. So we do something with them in 2019. I made a few pieces. I think first bags were shopping bags. Then I was into shopping, so I think they're like this, more or less. Yeah. So you can see the qualities. It's there. So those were your first bags. Then we did a few pieces with him. Another piece, I was lucky enough, when you're starting, you don't know what to do.
You're just
but you learn on the job. Yeah, you learn on the job.
Try and error.
So then we're using a lot of chitenji, denim, old jeans especially. Then some caveras you can see. It's a mix up of jeans and a cavera, all together. So that brings together because like I said, we're looking at how durable our bags would be. Something that you will hold on for long.
Let's first talk about your bags. As you're beginning this, what were like your target customers? Which kind of people were you looking into? Because I believe there are several types of bags. You would be making all of them, but
when I was starting, I'm thinking. My thinking was that people who appreciated durability, people were so attached to the environment, because I grew up around my mom. Okay, my parents, especially my mom. She's an environment officer back at home. So I grew up somebody who
is too much.
Yeah, the environment, and so that I think I picked it along. So when I saw this opportunity, then like I said, 2018, when I was doing all the research, it's quite expensive to make a bag when you're going to buy new fabrics, and it's quite expensive. So I said, how can I make a bag that's kind of affordable for my target market, and yet it's impactful when it comes to the environment? So I said, no, the best places to go is I can source fabric from Owino. I can source fabric. There's those markets are called they used to be called green shops.
Green shops,
yeah. That's one place I go to quite often. I make sure every Monday I'm there whenever they have new stock, so I run there like a mad person. So those are the places. So I was like, no, if I can source that, then I can go downtown. The Vuveras, those are all secondhand. So out of that, my clients, I wanted my clients my type of clients would be the people who appreciate more the sustainable, the environment kind of related, they appreciate the beauty, the durability, then how impactful the product they're using and they're getting to have.
This seems to be a long journey, I can say. You're still watching young entrepreneurs, of course, where we talk about several things, several young people who are trying to drive the community into a better place. And because remember, the rate of unemployment is drastically increasing. Currently, I think we're around 4.2%, meaning several people are getting done with the universities and they're looking for jobs, they're going for interviews, and at the end of the day, they don't get jobs because we don't have enough jobs. Now, if the jobs are not enough, what are you going to do? You as you. That's why today we are joined by Godfrey. We are digesting too much into is a business that he has started of making very, very special and very nice bags. You must have seen them almost. I've been seeing them in the streets. Very, very nice bags. Now, talking about your bag also, I believe you must have faced some challenges here and there. I don't know whether it's true or it's just my perception. Or
it's a fact, man. The biggest challenge.
Some of this.
One of the biggest challenges that we have is capital, money. But like I said, you have to always start from somewhere, irrespective of what you have. You have to always start from somewhere, because because sometimes you might be making these bags, but you're not selling. So you have a lot of stock with you. But the bags are not selling. But like I said, over time, you learn a few things along the way. Where to be, whom to sell to. Not everyone is going to buy the bag. No. Not everyone is your target market. No, not really. So our aim is probably have over time. I've come to realize that we just have to create a community of people who understand your product better, what you're doing, and are willing to pay for what you're doing. with that only, I mean, they always come back, and one person can get to like more than 2 or 3 heads along the way.
That's true, but you see, these bags,
Mm.
if you just look like on it, like just like that, someone may perceive that it's a very expensive bag. How do you manage such perceptions among us? You know, us Africans, whenever we see something relating to original like that, we take it that it's something very expensive and we tend to run away from them. How do you market this?
My marketing is based on social media. I would say that social media, it's especially Instagram has been one of those platforms where I've done, and I've realized one thing I've realized in marketing is, okay, the simple understanding of marketing, especially for products that we do, is make a bag, ensure that the quality is high. The quality is high. Make sure that the quality is high, the stitching, everything is standard. And then accompany it with a nice photo. Because I think a human mind or a human eye, once you do something beautiful, then you accompany it with a nice photography. There's always that check-in comes in so fast. There's always you can always ask. Yeah, you can always ask yourself, oh, wow, this looks beautiful. Who does this? You get. And that alone, it has been a point for us in a way. Like I said, we started serious production. Like, not serious, I would say, like, because before we'd make like one bag. Because when I started 2019, I said, I need to have the machines. So I would take everything to the tailor. But over time, I think when you're working with someone who doesn't understand what you're trying to push, in terms of quality, in terms of maybe of the vision that you have for something.
There's a lot of guesswork.
Yeah, there's a lot of guesswork, how they do things. They forget that what you're putting out there, it's a product. So if it's not done well, at the end of the day, it will hurt your brand. When it comes to clients, like I said, my products are tailored to a certain kind of people who understand what I do and who appreciate. Who in one time be like, oh, okay. By the time this guy, the time that I've put in terms of sourcing the fabric, you can buy any bag outside there that is handmade locally here. But if you bought a bag here and you compare to in terms of quality and durability, there's a difference. It's something they're going to hold on for some time.
I hope it's not a marketing language, but we shall be coming back. He's going to be telling us all these writings in the bag, what they mean, and
sure. Of course.
We are going to come back after this short commercial break. Okay, welcome back. I may end up going back with a very nice bag from here as a gift.
Sure.
But anyway, welcome back to the show. We are still talking about young entrepreneurship in the country, and I'm joined by one of those young entrepreneurs. That's Godfrey, who is making bags, special bags. Now, continuing with our conversation. You said you started this business like around 2018 there. What are some of the achievements so far you can point out that this is my achievement 1, 2, 3, or what? What are some of those achievements?
I have, as you can see, when I started, I've been able to to get a space. As you can see, the studio of mine, it's as small as it is, but it's something that I can be proud of. And a few machines. I can say I have 2 machines now. This was my first machine. Then this one here. This is our latest acquisition, I would say. And a lot of human capital, I would say. I've met people, and I'm still learning. I've met people, I've met clients who are willing to, to pay for something that I'm making. That's an achievement. People are willing to pay for something that you make. When I started, I made a few bags. I didn't sell any. I'll tell you.
As you said, it was still in research.
No. After the research work, we made a few pieces. But those few pieces, I think it was basically the dynamics of learning how to market and where to push on new products. But the achievements they're visible, and I believe I'm still growing. I hope I can get a bigger space, get a bigger workshop, and everything will turn out. Yeah.
Oh, at least now that means right now you're not going to tailors now to make for you things. No, you have machines.
No, everything is done here. In fact, I'll tell you.
Are you doing this alone?
No. I have somebody. I work with a lady. Such a beautiful lady. She's a good tailor. She's called Josephine. She's a nice person. She's a person who is willing. Yeah, like all of us take it's called like construction criticism, quite. Like normally, there are times, because most of the times it's me who does the cutting.
Okay.
The cutting, like when I'm done with work, make sure from 5:30, that's when we leave work. So 5:30 to until when I'm supposed to sleep, it's my time to be in the studio here. So that time it's me. So if we have a project that is coming up, I do a lot of the cutting, a lot of the other work before the stitching happens. Yeah, it's me who does that quite often.
The costing and everything, the cutting and
yes. So when she comes in, sometimes maybe I make mistakes. So sometimes when you're stitching there are a few errors. And so you have to accept what you've done. So if it's wrong, the blame has to. So we sit down, we have a body inside here, so we sit down and we share ideas on how to improve our product.
Actually, for our viewers, I don't know whether our production team can first show that board. I was surprised when I entered here and I'm seeing this is a very organized room.
No. You see this
there is even a costing, a job, like real math.
You see this thing, we learned it from, I think I was watching, there's a show that it's more of like a Lions, it's called Lions Den Kenya. So I was watching a guy, they also make bags, they're based in Kenya. And I was like, they also have like something like a board where they share ideas. After some, you sit down and you share points, how to improve, which products need probably updating, which zippers. Because like I said, we can make a bag sometimes. We make a bag, I can make a bag here. Then it goes out of the market. Maybe you sell it to somebody, a client gets to purchase it. But maybe you did something wrong. Maybe the stitches were not done perfectly. So those are things that we tend to sit down, share. We're like, okay, yeah, you did this. Maybe this didn't come out perfectly. How can we improve on it? And that way we share. We do some research. There's a lot on YouTube. These things, we're in an era where things are not that, where you have to go to school
everything.
So I go get the videos of YouTube. If you want to make a product, for example, if you said we are making a bag, a travel bag, I do research, get some videos of YouTube, how it's supposed to be done. We sit down here, roughly 2 to 3 hours. We look at the videos. We're like, okay, this is how they stitched it. This is how it's done. How can we do it our way? How can we customize to make it look like it's a Ugandan kind of made product? And there you go.
A number of times I've met a lot of people in the same show, and they're doing a lot of things, but their stories are there is something I got which is somehow familiar. I don't know. Before I tell you that, professionally, what did you study?
I am an information scientist, I would say. I did library and information science, surprisingly. Urban information science, and yeah, something related to that. So it's not. This is a passion. I've 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 done this in my vacation. My first time coming to Kampala. What brought me to was my first time. Okay, my first time to officially get a stay here.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up from the border here, so we used to go to Kenya. We used to buy a lot of second-hand.
Were you smuggling?
Not really. So we used to buy a lot of second-hand jeans, clothing basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's quite affordable that side. I mean, so I used to buy jeans. Come to Kampala, I would buy detergent, the bleaching detergent, cut those jeans, print on, print stuff on. I think my sister is the witness. I used to do some of my works from when she was at campus here at Chambogo. I used to do some of my works from her, like one of, I think in her room when she was at campus. And also my auntie was staying in Seta. So when my vacation came, I came with all my production, came to Seta. I think that time, Seta. I was staying with my aunt. So I would come to, I had some money there. I would come to Kampala here, buy the detergent, the bleaching agent, then bleach the shorts. Print on those kind of like drawings. I didn't sell any of those, but that's where my creation started, I would say.
I like the creativity and the passion and everything. Now that you have machines, you have human capital, where do you see your business like in the next, let's say 5 years or what?
You see, I tend not to work with time in terms of how you see yourself in the next 5 years. I work with what I have for the moment. But I have this kind of belief that as you grow in time, your business will start asking for things that you need to work with. Because if I told you, I see myself as a big company in the next 5 years, the best-selling bag brand in the next 5 years, I don't know what will happen. And I never know the next morning, even tomorrow I woke up, I'm like, no, I'm done. Okay. But I just see myself in a way that I work with what I have. I just make sure that is my quality up to the standard. Am I making a bag that one can,
appreciate,
can for more. Because if you're able to sell a bag to one client and that one client comes back to buy another bag, it means they're appreciating what you did. You get. So my future, I tend to work with it now. I don't see myself in the next 5 years. You never, things change. Yeah.
Okay, for those who have just joined us, we are still having a one-on-one, of course, with Mr. Godfrey, who is making some nice bags for us here, and you're still watching, of course, Young Entrepreneurs. That's a production of the Campusa magazine, and I am Menyata. You see, there are a lot of young people out there who are creative, who are innovative.
Yeah.
Most of them, I think they lack capital or something. What are some of those bullet points you tell them that these are the don'ts of starting a business? These are the do's, the what? What are some of the ideas you give them?
What I can say, just work with what you have. When I was starting an interview machine, I'll tell you, I bought this machine 2019. No, 2020. No, 22. I think 2020. Yeah, 2020 or 2021. Because I'd saved some money. That time I'd gotten a job. Because when I started production, I started working with the tailor, the Herbert guy in 2019. I was lucky enough, a friend of mine connected me to a job. It wasn't a job necessarily. I was doing internship. I was a graduate trainee there, where I am now. I was a graduate trainee. So 2019, they gave us some money as a graduate trainee. So I saved some money off that.
Oh, saving.
Yeah, I saved some money. But what I can say is start with what you have. Because when I was starting, I didn't have the machines. You just have to, okay, what do you want?
Maximize what you have.
Yeah. What do you want? Like, ask yourself, what am I doing? How am I supposed to do it? And who can help me do it? It's basically that. If you get the right people, which is also hard sometimes, people don't one thing I've learned about us, especially Ugandans, we tend not to appreciate, what? Time? Is it time? Like, don't tend not to appreciate time when you're doing something. We don't know to give something time in terms of production. Like, when you're doing something, you just want to do it for the sake of doing it. You get it? Because when you do it for the sake of doing it, at the end of the day, I'll come pay you. Well, you've done something. Maybe you're just rushing through it. By the end of it, if you've done it well, I believe one person can always kill your business. That one person can always talk to another 10 behind him. And in the era of social media, when that one person, I'll give an example. We had a client a few weeks back who we sold a bag to last year. I think last year, it must be last year in December. This client that time she was in Italy. So she sends us a message on Instagram telling us how our bag is bad.
Okay.
In that sense. So in my head, I'm like, how? Because there's always stitcher straps, so it's hard for them to
pluck out.
They're quite, because that's why I started anyway. Because I wanted to have a solution to that. So when she was telling me, I didn't understand what was the issue, and she wasn't explaining it in a better way. So I told her, okay, it's fine. You can bring it. We shall do it for you. I'm not charging you anything. I'm doing anything. She tells us, no, I'll be back in Uganda in April. Like, are we in April? Yeah, we're in April. Like, yeah, early April, I'll be back. She was coming from Italy. So she comes back. She brings the product to us here. On checking, the issue wasn't on our side anyway, when you look at it. The
You're
bag.
trying to run away from
No. Not running away. Yeah. She had put the bag in a washing machine. Now the straps are, they're not cotton. Unlike cotton is where it's cotton straps, and there's a cotton doesn't, those small threads that come off bags of the straps. So it was basically that. So we did, all we have to do is change the straps.
So you didn't make it?
No, we just made a new, change everything, put new stuff. And she was the happiest of clients. She was like, thank you. You guys have done something amazing to me, blah, 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 blah. And there you go. Because initially I thought maybe the bag was torn, maybe the fabric that we had sourced wasn't that good.
You were scared, but talking about happiness still, we are going to come back shortly as we come towards the tail of this. And Geoffrey is going to share with us how you can be able to contact him in case you need a bag. And now that we are going to the month where people travel a lot, you need one. Let's come back after this. Yes, welcome back to this. There is something that has caught my eye when I was here, and I must show you. There is something here which is really so motivating. They're saying, thank you for going green. So that is what is driving Ingo today.
Sure. Thank you.
So we've been talking with Ingo, the big man, also known as, of course, Geoffrey. We've been talking about entrepreneurship among young people. People are crying out. They're leaving. About 12,000 people come out of Makerere, and all of them want to be employed. So, getting back into this, how can people get to your products? Where can they access you?
We are mainly on social media at the moment. We Facebook, Instagram.
And you're the people using VPN for Facebook?
You guy.
Okay. Which other social apps?
We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and on WhatsApp. WhatsApp business mainly.
Which names?
It's Ingo. Doesn't change. Just the number. You have to get the number. The number is what? It's 0782 72 37 30. When you click into that, it just takes you. You'll see the logo there. But if you want to find us, if you want to check out most of our products, Instagram does it better, and Facebook.
Okay.
And some bit of Twitter, but Twitter we're not that popular there. We're just starting to understand the whole dynamics of how Twitter works and see how we can work with it.
Okay, thank you so much for those who've been watching us. As before we sign out, I've been seeing figures here, and since I fear geography a lot, I don't know what they mean, but maybe, what is all this about? I'm seeing...
This is something that we wanted to do to promote our country. I mean, it's per target market, because we wanted to make our bags more of like souvenir, something probably when you're moving out of the country and you're somewhere. I mean, you came here and you did something maybe here. So this is basically the latitudes and the latitudes. I'm forgetting those coordinates. So if the moment you put on these coordinates, it will show you exactly where Uganda is.
Oh,
yeah. That's amazing.
This is simple. This is really nice. I think we need to connect you with Uganda Tourism Board.
Yeah, this is how simple this is.
This is nice.
So we're looking at that. Souvenirs, we would want to position our bags in a way that more or less like souvenir. Something that you can hold on to. It's the same thing that we did we have a few bags that we are celebrating Kampala. It's beginning, so we have bags in terms of, we have like a landscape for Kampala, the skylight of Kampala. Then we have something that celebrates Owino Market, Nakasero, Nakawa Market, Bugolobi Market. So depending, and all of them have coordinates. So if you put on those coordinates, they will drop you straight to Owino Market or straight to Bugolobi Market.
So creative of you, sure. Because now that means is not only looking into this in the perspective of the business, but is also promoting our country, is promoting our culture, our country, and is also conserving the environment.
Wow,
we need to check this man out. My name is Menyata. This has been Young Entrepreneurs and production of the Campusa magazine. Of course, big up to our production team behind the cameras and everything, the lights, crew, and everyone. Remember to follow us on the Campusa magazine. That is on YouTube, on Facebook, the Campusa magazine. Then also don't forget to check us on our web portal, that is www.thecampusamagazine.com, so that you get updated with a lot of things. In case you want to link up with him, or you want to make an order of the bag or anything, any inquiry, please get in touch with him in those socials that he has been able to tell you. But we are here always to inspire, educate, and entertain. Next time, from me, I sign out.
Peace.